Could you introduce yourself?
Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Andreea Memet. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I'm also the head of the legal department of Door to Romania, which is one of the largest immigration companies in Romania.
From how long you are in this domain?
I have been a lawyer since 2013, which is more than 10 years now.
Long time.
Long time. But in terms of immigration, I've started only from 2018. Because then is when people started moving more, and Romania was put on the chart of everyone in terms of mobility. Everybody now chooses Romania as their destination for work, study, travels. So it's each year is more and more migration.
Regarding the immigration whole process, it's very sensible.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes.
Especially for the countries, especially for the people who are non-European Union citizens.
Exactly, it's true. And also, I might add, this is how we started. We started immigration activities by helping non-European citizens, especially from Asian countries, to obtain work permits, residence permits, also family reunifications. And during this process, we noticed that indeed the process is getting harder and harder for them. And also, it's very different from one non-European country to the other. So in the end, it matters which country we are talking about. If we are talking about Nepal, India, Bangladesh, or if we are talking about America, Canada, or any other country that it's still non-European but with different treaties.
You said that immigration treatments are different for every nation.
Exactly.
Why is it so?
From my point of view as an immigration lawyer, I might say that the immigration laws are very old. They are not adjusted to the actual practice and to the flow of people coming to Romania for different purposes. So they are not adjusted. And of course, Asian people come to Romania in a higher number. And in order to reduce and also to have a better quality of the people coming here, the practices are very, very different, because what we've noticed is that Romania is somehow considered a trampoline to Europe. And some people from countries like the ones that I've mentioned come to Romania and then leave to other European countries, which we don't recommend, because from what we understood from most of the people that left Romania to such countries like Italy, Spain, or even Germany, they are not treated well in those countries in comparison to Romania, that has welcomed them and from my point of view embraced them and treats them in a very high manner with respect. And they should remain here. They should not leave towards other countries. But because they did this, like Bangladeshis, when they come initially to Romania, most of them left to Italy, unfortunately. They created somehow a problem with how the immigration officers see them. And now it's very hard for Bangladeshi to obtain a work permit or a visa because of this, because they came and they left to other countries.
On the base of the volume of the people who are coming to Romania, Romanian authorities are not eligible to change their laws accordingly.
This is a very good question, a question that we also asked ourselves. And it's not that they are not struggling into doing this, because since we started doing immigration law, we saw that there is a desire from the authority side to change this. However, due to lack of personnel and bureaucracy, with which Romania is still struggling, and the lack of professionals that are not working, unfortunately, in this kind of authorities, they struggle into understanding firstly the needs of the workers or the people that are coming to Romania to do different things like study, volunteer, or work. And this is why they don't change the laws, because they don't understand it initially. They don't work with people directly so that they can see their needs, how hard it is for them, for instance, to find good employers employers that respect what they say from the beginning. And here I will give you an example. You know that once a candidate arrives in Romania and he or she has a work permit, residence permit, if they want to change the employer, let's say they find another employer, here there appear a lot of problems. Once, because the employer doesn't want to give a release letter. Here is a problem because some employers ask for money, which is totally illegal. Another problem is that they don't want to release this paper, although according to the law they must release it unless there was a problem in terms of the candidate respecting the contract. In most cases the candidates respect the contract. Those that don't respect the contract are the Romanian employers in terms of how many hours they work, how much salary they give. So this is a totally not balanced contract, what we saw. So this is the problem. They don't get the documents in order to find a new employer. All these people spend a lot of money to come here, to make a life here, and they are put in a situation where in the 3 months that they have to find a new employer, to apply and obtain new papers of work permit and residence permit, most of them fail to do this because it is very difficult. Even if you find a new employer, even if you work with a law office or let's say immigration specialist, because the time frame is too short, and then they have to return to their countries because they are illegally staying, and this is not proportionate because they paid a lot of money. It is not their fault that they are in this situation, and the legislation is very, very strict. And also they don't understand that they cannot do this by themselves. We know a lot of, I call them non-professionals, that have failed so many cases of applying and not obtaining the documents needed, that it is very important for them to choose the right professional to take care of this. And of course, money is also a subject here because most people don't afford to go into a law office, at least a big one. And for this reason, when we started, we all said in our team that we want to help the community first of all. So we are trying to give in terms of fees the best we can, so that we help them, because it is not fair to them for them to have spent so much money, come to Romania and have to leave to their countries with a lot of debts.
Okay. You are talking about employees'
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
Now I will ask you from the perspective of an employer.
I can give you an answer to this as well, because in
Let me put you in a situation. For
Please.
that you will answer me. I have a construction company.
Okay.
I took a project and government gave me a time of 2 years to complete it.
Mm-hmm.
I brought 20 people from Asia. Those 20 people come here and they want to change the job. Why did I lose my time to bring them here and then losing money from the project that I supposed to build with them?
Yes, this is...
Is it a fair with me?
No, this is a good question. It happens, and I might say it happens a lot these days. But from my point of view, it all starts with the recruitment process. This is what we've seen so far, because we also work as internal lawyers for several recruitment companies. They bring workers here in Romania. We have one such company that out of, let's say, I'll give you an example, out of 100 candidates that they brought last year, only one returned, and he returned because he had a heart condition. But the others remained and took the contract up to the end. And of course, after 1 year or 2 years, according to the contract, they either remained with a different salary or they left for another company. But this company of recruitment met all expectations. They didn't have any issues. So candidates stayed. How? It's in terms of how the recruitment process is being performed. Because what we've seen, Romanian companies don't want to pay for the recruitment process. This is something true. If they don't want to pay for the recruitment process, they can expect any type of worker here. And we've seen something that surprised us. a recruitment company from one of the Asian countries. I will not necessarily give an example specifically, but they promoted the same candidate as cook, construction worker, dancer. I don't know. That guy would have been put on the CVs for all types of jobs. It's because he wanted to come to Romania no matter what, but he was not technically skilled for the job, this is the truth. And how we've seen him, he had a distinctive sign on his hand, and during the interview we've seen that distinctive sign, because otherwise we can't remember all faces,
Yes.
but that sign was distinctive, and this is how we noticed that he was eligible to take any type of job. It didn't matter if the company requested 3-5 years of experience, English, or I don't know. He applied for everything. And this is something that companies should take into consideration. It depends with whom you do the recruitment process. If you don't want to pay for the recruitment process, this should be a red flag for you as a company, because the reality is, how can a company offer you quality if you don't pay anything?
Yes.
And in the end, a person that pays thousands of euros in countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, or India, or any other country from Asia, if they pay thousands of euros, they would do basically anything just to get here, not necessarily to remain and work, because if he pays thousands of euros, he will not remain in Romania for a salary of 1,000 euro per month, because he will not be able to afford to pay his debt.
Yes.
So that's why it is very important to choose the right partners for this process, so that in the end, when you do the contract with the government or any other type of contract, the candidates remain with you in the team. Also, you have to be fair with them in terms of the salary, in terms of the working hours, in terms of the holidays, and this way they will not leave. Not all of them, but most of them will remain.
There are certain problems even with the employees, I will tell you. During the December, many factories, they do not work properly. You know this.
Yes.
Because of the holidays.
Because of the holidays.
Employers ask them to leave because during this time we do not have a lot of work, so that you can take your holidays and go back to your country. They do not want. They want to go in Pakistan or during certain times when there is a lot of work. About the salaries. From Pakistan or from any other country, they do not even read the contract. Once they come here, then they realize that what is the problem here. Because on the contract it's written even a salary that is brute, that's net salary.
Yes, and also they are deceiving them into believing the job is different. I will give you an example. There was a teacher from India. Unfortunately, it's something that I remember even now. She was made to believe that she will come here to work in a factory that is in the recycling process of different waste. In reality, when she came here, she was put to scatter amongst garbage to select plastic from clothes, from, it was very sad, because she was a teacher and she risked everything to come to, let's say,
because she didn't read the contract.
Exactly. But no, in the contract it was saying recycling company, not picking garbage.
Not a recycler, actually.
Yes, and that's why it's the same with the employees as it's the same with the Romanian employers. It's very important with whom you choose to do this process, because on the market now everybody has a village that they want to relocate to Romania. Everybody's calling us saying, I have a cousin or I have an uncle, he has people that he can send to Romania. If you take the risk into taking this activity with this kind of non-professionals, then you can't complain. But in the end, there are companies that have been on the market for way too long and have a good reputation, and good companies should go to those recruitment agencies, not to people that they know that can bring people here.
You might have more experience, but I'm going to give you one example, a scenario in which people are bound with the companies. I met many people from Nepal and India. They are on subcontract works. So their parent company is based in Romania, but the owner is owner is from India, Bangladesh, or Nepal, or Pakistan, and he has given those workers to somebody else, where he is getting more money and giving to the workers less.
Yes, but let me tell you
Those
something.
kind of people are not giving NOCs.
Yes, and let me tell you something about this scenario, which is very important for you to understand that this is an illegal practice, because you need to understand that whoever is doing recruitment has to choose what kind of recruitment process they are doing. Either recruitment process, meaning the main company remains in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and they are sending directly to the Romanian employer candidates, and this is the standard. Or you are a leasing company and you pay the guarantee to the Romanian government, which is not a small amount.
It's like 50,000 euros.
Yes, and you are registered as such. You have an insurance for all the people that you are bringing here. You are giving them accommodation and salaries and food, no matter if you have a contract where to send these people or not. The reality is that on the market there are a lot of companies, as you say, cleaning companies or construction companies or any other type of companies that, scammers thought of doing, that they are bringing the people on these companies and then they are subleasing. How they are subleasing? This is not acceptable under Romanian legislation and it is totally illegal. But the reality is they are putting provider service contracts. They are making service contracts between their company and other companies where they say that they give cleaning services. In reality, they don't give cleaning services, they give people. And if someone takes a look carefully on the contract and sees the amounts that we are talking about, they see that the amounts are per person and they are higher than they should be in terms of the cleaning services. From my point of view, in the end, nobody cares that much to actually see these things, but they are happening on the Romanian market, and this is something that people should be aware of. Who is their Romanian employer? How old is the company where they want to go and work? How many employees that does that company have? Types of questions that they should be asking themselves, and if they don't know how to answer, they should ask people that they know here in Romania, or us as lawyers or any other type of companies that's in the business, because we always tell them, look, this is a fake work permit, this is a fake residence, don't believe them that they will bring you here, they are charging you way too much, or the documents are false, and so on. But in the end, they don't necessarily trust us more than they trust their own people. And the scammers behind this are including their own people, not necessarily Romanians or only Romanians.
Yes. It's the factor of greed.
Exactly. Money talks.
Yes.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, and I'm saying this because we have heard so many sad stories, and we know a lot of people that made a lot of debts in their country and they cannot return, or families are struggling and they are the providers of not only their smaller circle family, but the large family like grandparents or uncles or cousins and so on. And when they come here and they realize they are being scammed, their life is completely ruined. Some even threaten to kill themselves, or are no longer in their right minds. We had even clients coming to the office the same. They were crying, or they were like having panic attacks, because the reality is that we as Romanians, we can't understand what it's in the mind of that person that's in a foreign country, that doesn't understand the language, doesn't have any help, and has also a lot of debt. That's why I'm not saying that I'm taking the employee's side more than the Romanian employer's side, but the reality is that they are in most cases victims of the system, the employees.
I contradict a little bit. You know how? I have a little bit experience of this from couple of years. When you tell somebody in Romania you will work in cleaning the streets, they will say that, yes sir, not a problem, we can do it.
Yes, this I admit, it's true.
We can do it for years. I do it home also every day. Once they get the visa, they come here. They said, I never work.
I know.
I would never work in this domain. Why are you doing this to me? I am a landlord in Pakistan.
Yes,
I am a
yes.
landlord in my country.
This
Why
is
would
true. This is true. There are cases like this, and I do remember one case. They were recruited for a company that was painting the wheels of a car, and we are talking about very luxurious cars. And they were selected, and the interview was performed, and they were asked, "Do you know how to paint? What type of paint do you use, or what type of machine do you use to paint?" They all answered very, very properly. When they came here, they said, "Oh, but we only painted wooden fences and with a brush, and we don't even use a spray." And of course, this was a failure. But as mentioned, in order to understand them completely, you have to go there. You have to go to the mother country to see how they live, how they work, how they live, everything. It's a question of culture and experience. I'm not saying that this is not true, what you're saying. 100%. But you cannot ask them to do the activity as an European would do, because in their country they don't have the means to do this. And in the end, why are Romanian companies taking Asian workers? They are not taking them for the stability, to be truthful. They are not taking them because they are hard workers or because they have experience. They are taking them because in terms of the salaries, they come cheaper than the Romanians.
Yes.
But if you take them because they are cheaper than the Romanians, give them training. Start like this in order to make them at the same level as a Romanian would be, you know, because in the end, you pay them less salary than you pay to a Romanian.
I don't think so that in skilled jobs.
No, in skilled jobs, they are the same or even
Higher.
Higher, yeah.
Because I have some examples in which there was one welder.
Yes.
He was working in construction and he was working equal to two Romanians, single person,
Hardworking.
and the employer was so happy that was giving him the bonuses.
This
He
is
was
true.
from Pakistan.
Yes, I also know Romanian employers. Most of the companies that we work with as Romanian employers are giving the foreign employees the same treatment or even more. I know employers that take them to buy clothes, to buy them whatever they want. They take them into to holidays, and they treat them like family.
Exactly,
I know,
if they are working
if
good.
they are working. But in the end, as I said, you have to be realistic. When you bring foreigners, you don't know if they will adjust. For instance, with global workers, you know, we had so many companies for which we made work permits and residence permits for global workers. And one of the recruitment companies that we are working with, during the interview, the people were from Sri Lanka. And during the interview, the person doing the interviews asked them, "You should put your head into the fridge, see how much time you can stay there." And this is Romania during winter.
Yes.
You know, because when they came here, they were wearing flip-flops, and they were saying that they can't adjust to the temperature. And it happens. They have to adjust. Some do, some don't. This is life in the end. But we don't have to be that harsh. I do understand that the companies spend a lot of money with them. But what I would recommend the Romanian employers is, one, to do a very, very specific recruitment process. Why not even go there to select them themselves? And two, try to give them training so that that person doesn't feel necessarily unqualified for the job. Because the reality is that even in our company, as a law office, whoever comes in our company to work, new employee, he is not qualified, even if he has years of experience, because the specific of our job is totally different than any other on the market. So we have to give them training. I can't expect them to work properly in the first 3 months. But if after the 3 months they are not okay, of course there's something wrong with that person. But I don't expect them to be fully trained, because they can't know this from the beginning. It's the same with the Romanian employers.
Yes.